You guys will never believe what happened. I'm working at this historic newspaper office in a rainy little city, chasing my dream of becoming a photojournalist, and my boss, Mr. Bennett, is this managing editor with a classic vibe think salt and pepper hair, steady eyes, and a voice that could calm a newsroom storm. So, the other night, I was just stopping by the office before the weekend when a massive rain hit, trapping me inside. And guess who showed up? Things got way more intense than I expected. Want to know how it played out? Keep watching, because this story is all about stormy nights and desires that spark brighter than lightning. Like and subscribe for more. Chloe's days at the Haven Chronicle were a blur of shutter clicks and breaking news. Each assignment, a new frame in her quest to become a photojournalist. Her corner desk in the historic newspaper office was her creative sanctuary, cluttered with camera gear, photo proofs, and the musty scent of old ink and rain-soaked wood, where she poured her heart into capturing stories that resonated. Her latest photo series, a candid shot of a rain-drenched city protest, reflected her restless energy. Its contrasts stark and vivid, much like her own desires. But lately, her lens kept focusing on Mr. Bennett, her managing editor, whose steady presence had become a distraction she couldn't ignore. At 57, Mr. Bennett Daniel to his colleagues, but always Mr. Bennett to Chloe, was a seasoned journalist with a quiet authority that had caught her eye since she started at the paper 4 months ago. His salt and pepper hair was neatly combed. His steady gray eyes carried the weight of years spent shaping stories, and his hands, calloused from years of flipping through archives, moved with a calm precision. His nice shot, Chloe, in the newsroom, paired with a rare smile, made her heart skip. She'd told herself it was nothing, just respect for a boss who'd built a career on clarity and grit. But her daring streak, always simmering beneath the surface, pushed her to test the boundaries, and tonight that streak collided with a storm. It was late Friday, the office nearly empty, the hum of the city muted by sheets of rain pounding against the windows. Chloe had stopped by to grab her camera before the weekend, planning a quick in and out when the sky darkened and thunder rolled above. Lightning flickered through the blinds, casting jagged shadows across her desk. Deciding to wait out the downpour, she settled in, organizing her proofs, when the door creaked open. Mr. Bennett stepped in, rain dripping from his coat, his gray eyes scanning the room until they landed on her. "Chloe," he said, his voice a low, warm rumble tinged with surprise. "Didn't expect to see you here in this mess." She froze, her camera in hand, her heart pounding as the air shifted. "Just grabbing some gear," she said, her voice steady but charged, brushing her hair back. Then the rain hit. Figured I'd wait it out. He hung his coat on the rack, water pooling on the floor, and stepped closer, his eyes lingering on her scattered proofs. "Smart move," he said, a hint of amusement in his tone. "Storm like this, you'd be soaked in seconds." She grinned, leaning back in her chair, her pulse racing with her daring streak. "Gotta make the most of it, right? Can't let a little rain ruin my plans." He chuckled, pulling up a chair beside her desk, the scent of rain and coffee clinging to him. "A little rain? This is a monsoon." He paused, glancing at the coffee pot in the break room. "Want a cup? Looks like we're stuck here for a while." The boundary between professional and personal blurred as he poured her a coffee, the steam rising between them, the quiet hum of the rain filling the space. They laughed about old officers' missed deadlines, quirky reporters, and the conversation turned personal, his questions about her photography dreams drawing her in. The way his eyes lingered on hers, lit by each flash of lightning, made it clear this wasn't just another late night. Every shared laugh, every moment his hand hovered near hers as he passed the mug, carried more weight than the last. The stormy office charged with an energy that neither could ignore. Chloe's pulse pounded, her dangerous desires making her feel bold, alive. "Am I in trouble for staying late?" she teased, her voice soft but daring, her eyes locked on his. "Only the good kind," he said, his voice low, his smile warm, the moment simmering like the storm outside. The next morning, Chloe woke in her apartment, Mr. Bennet's voice lingering in her mind, her dreams tangled with the memory of the office, the way his eyes had held hers over their coffee. She shook it off, blaming her impulsiveness, but her thoughts kept drifting to him as she headed to the newsroom. Work was hectic, sorting assignments and editing shots, but every time her phone buzzed, she hoped it was him. Around noon, a text came through. "That coffee last night kept me up. You're full of surprises. D." Her heart skipped, and she smiled, typing back, "Just waiting out the rain. Gotta keep you on your toes, right?" His reply was quick. "You're doing more than that. Coffee later? I owe you for braving the storm." Her pulse raced and she hesitated, her fingers hovering over the keys. She should keep things professional, play it safe. But her dangerous desires urged her to chase the spark she'd felt last night. "You're on. I'm at the cafe by the square till 3. Bring your best newsroom story." That afternoon, Mr. Bennet walked into the cafe, a folded newspaper tucked under his arm, his grin disarming as he slid into a booth. "Thought I'd bring a story as requested," he said, passing her the paper, his fingers brushing hers, the contact sending a spark up her arm. Chloe took the paper, her cheeks flushing as she glanced at his handwritten note on a feature she'd shot. "You're spoiling me," she teased, leaning across the table. "First late night coffee, now your notes. What's next?" He shrugged, his gray eyes twinkling. "Maybe I'm just trying to keep up with the new photojournalist in the newsroom." You're making waves already." Her heart raced, and they talked, the cafe's hum fading as their conversation flowed, her photo assignments, his years running the paper, the way their stormy encounter had shifted something between them. The tension was a constant undercurrent, every shared laugh and glance adding to it. Chloe's mind wandered to the way the office had felt alive last night, the way his presence had warmed her, and she wondered how far she could push these dangerous desires. "Your trouble," he said, his voice low, leaning forward, his elbow brushing hers on the table. "Staying late in a storm, turning my quiet nights upside down?" She grinned, her heart pounding. "Good kind of trouble, I hope." His smile was slow, knowing, a spark of mischief in his eyes. "The best kind." They lingered in the booth, the newspaper open between them, and Chloe found herself opening up more than she'd planned. Her fears about her photos not making an impact, her excitement about working at the Chronicle, her dreams of seeing her work shape headlines. Mr. Bennet listened, his eyes steady, his presence grounding her like a well-crafted lead. "You've got something special," he said, his voice sincere, his gaze unwavering. "Your photos, they're bold, like you. Don't let those doubts hold you back. The world needs your perspective." Her heart swelled, caught off guard by his encouragement, the warmth in his words wrapping around her like a soft filter. "Thanks," she said, her voice soft. "That means a lot." The next day, Chloe's nerves were electric as she prepared for a local archive tour where Mr. Bennet was giving a talk on the paper's history. She'd volunteered to take photos, curious about his world, and wore a simple sweater and jeans, her camera slung over her shoulder. When she arrived, Mr. Bennet was arranging old editions, his gray eyes lighting up when he saw her. "Glad you made it," he said, handing her a stack of archival prints, his fingers grazing hers. "Didn't expect you to be an early bird after last night." She grinned, adjusting her camera. "Gotta keep you on your toes." The tour was engaging, locals browsing dusty archives, Mr. Bennet's voice steady as he shared stories of the paper's past. Chloe watched him, mesmerized by the way he spoke, confident and evocative, like a journalist breathing life into history. When he caught her eye during a pause, flashing a quick smile, her heart skipped, the moment electric. "You're a natural," he said later as they packed up, his voice low, his eyes catching hers. "Gotten an eye for the perfect shot, even in a dusty archive." Thanks, she said, her cheeks flushing, their faces close as they stacked prints. You're not bad up there, though you're terrible at keeping things strictly professional. He laughed, stepping back, his eyes twinkling. Maybe I don't want to keep things strictly professional. Her breath caught, the air charged with unspoken possibility. Careful, Mr. Bennett, she teased, her heart pounding. I might take that personally. His smile was slow, knowing. Maybe I want you to. The tour stretched into the afternoon and Chloe lingered, helping Mr. Bennett clean up. They talked about her photos, his favorite scoops, the way the newsroom felt like a living archive of its own. Every glance, every brush of their hands as they packed up added to the tension. A tightrope she was eager to walk. Over the next few days, Mr. Bennett became a constant in Chloe's life, slipping into her routine with an ease that thrilled her. He'd stop by her desk with extra feedback on her shots, his grin betraying the excuse. They'd text late at night, sharing snippets of their lives, Mr. Bennett's stories of chasing leads in his early days, Chloe's dreams of publishing her photo essays, her shots taking on a new vibrancy inspired by their connection. Each interaction was laced with flirty tension, a push and pull that left her dizzy. One afternoon, Mr. Bennett invited her to a local bookstore to browse journalism titles, claiming he needed her eye for a new book on photojournalism. Thought you'd like the vibe, he said over the phone, his voice warm, and I'd like your company. She agreed, her heart fluttering as she chose a blouse and jeans, her camera in her bag for spontaneous shots. The bookstore was cozy, shelves packed with books, the air filled with the scent of paper and coffee. Mr. Bennett was at her side, his presence steady, his stories of old newsrooms making her laugh as they wandered the aisles. They shared a laugh over a quirky photojournalism book, their shoulders brushing as they reached for it, the contact electric. You're good at this, she said, her voice teasing as they paused at a display of photography books, making a bookstore feel like a breaking story. He grinned, picking up a book and flipping through it. Takes one to know one. You're not exactly boring, Chloe. She laughed, nudging him playfully. Gotta keep things interesting. His eyes twinkled, and he handed her the book to browse, their fingers brushing, the moment stretching as the bookstore faded away, leaving just the two of them. This one's bold like you, he said, his voice low, his smile warm. Her cheeks flushed, and she smiled, her heart racing with her daring streak. She wanted to lean closer, to push the boundaries further, but she held back, savoring the spark, the way it made her feel like her photos were coming to life. One evening, Mr. Bennett invited her to his office for a private editing session, claiming he needed her input on a new photo essay layout. Chloe hesitated, her heart racing at the idea of being alone with him again. The memory of their stormy encounter still vivid, but her curiosity won out. As she stepped into his office, the scent of ink and old books enveloped her. The space a mix of modern tech and vintage newsroom charm. Hey guys, Chloe said, her voice bright but with a playful edge, as if speaking to her imaginary audience, her eyes glinting with mischief. We're about to get into this spicy portion of the story, so please don't forget to like and subscribe. She grinned, setting her camera on the desk, the air already buzzing with anticipation as she turned to Mr. Bennett, her heart pounding with her daring streak. They stood by his desk, a stack of photo proofs between them, and talked her latest shots, his editorial vision, the way their stormy night had sparked something new. The office felt alive, the memory of her bold move lingering like the distant rumble of thunder. Chloe, he said, his voice low, leaning forward, his eyes steady. I'm not just here for the photos or the coffee runs. You know that, right? Her heart stuttered, her breath catching, the memory of their rain-soaked chat flashing in her mind. I suspected. He reached out, his fingers brushing her wrist. Light, but deliberate. The contact sending a shiver through her. Good, because I'm not good at pretending I don't want something. And I want to know you. Really know you. She swallowed, her voice unsteady, her heart pounding with the thrill of her own daring. "Your trouble, Mr. Bennett." "Maybe," he said, his thumb tracing a slow circle on her wrist, the touch sparking something new. "But you're not running. One stormy night and you're already breaking all the rules." She laughed, a shaky sound, and leaned into the moment, the heat of his touch igniting a fire in her heart. "Maybe I like breaking them," she said, her voice playful but honest, her eyes locked on his. He smiled, his eyes twinkling with a mix of amusement and something deeper. "Good, because I'm starting to like it too." The following week, Chloe's days felt like a photo bursting with contrast, each moment with Mr. Bennett adding new depth to her story. The newsroom was busy, but he was a constant distraction, his presence lingering in her thoughts like a half-developed shot. He'd started leaving notes with his feedback, small handwritten things tucked into her proofs. "Found a shot today that reminded me of you. Too bold for the front page? Deep. Or, bet I can guess your favorite story by the end of the week. Hint, it's not local news. D." Each note made her smile, her heart race, her daring streak growing with every interaction. Her coworker Emma noticed, cornering her at the cafe during a lull. "Mr. Bennett, huh?" she said, her tone teasing but cautious, her eyes narrowing. "He's got you all flustered." "Be careful, Chloe." "And I'm just having fun," Chloe said, but the words felt hollow, her mind replaying the warmth of his office, the spark of his touch. She wasn't sure what she was doing, only that Mr. Bennett made her feel alive, like a subject stepping into a perfectly framed shot. One night they met for a quiet evening walk through the rainy city, Mr. Bennett claiming he needed to clear his head after a long day. "Thought you'd like the inspiration," he said, his voice warm. "And I'd like your company." She agreed, wearing a raincoat and boots, her hair tucked under a hood, the city's wet streets reflecting lights as they wandered. The streets were quiet, the shops closed, but the rain and neon gave them a vibrant energy. Mr. Bennett was at her side, his umbrella shielding them both, his stories of old investigations making her laugh as they passed a glowing diner. "You're good at this," she said, her voice teasing as they paused under a street lamp, rain pattering around them, making a rainy walk feel like a front-page story. He grinned, his eyes catching the lamplight. "Takes one to know one." "You're not exactly boring, Chloe." She laughed, nudging him playfully. "Gotta keep things interesting." They stood under the street lamp, their shoulders brushing as they watched the rain, the tension a constant undercurrent. Chloe's heart raced, her daring streak urging her to lean closer, but she held back, savoring the spark, the way it made her feel like she was living in one of her photos. One night, they met for a late-night coffee run at a 24-hour diner near the newsroom, the city quiet under the drizzle. The diner was all retro booths and neon signs, the air filled with the scent of fries and coffee. They sat across from each other, sharing a plate of fries. Mr. Bennett's presence steady, his stories of chasing scoops painting vivid pictures in her mind. But the tension was a constant undercurrent, every shared laugh and glance adding to it, the memory of their stormy encounter lingering like an undeveloped frame. "You're different," he said, his voice low, leaning forward, his elbow brushing hers on the table. "One stormy night, and you've got this. Fire." It's hard to look away. Her cheeks flushed, and she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, her heart pounding. "Good. I don't want you to look away." His laugh was low, warm, his eyes twinkling with a mix of amusement and something deeper. "Careful what you wish for." They lingered in the diner, the fries growing cold, and Chloe opened up more than she'd planned. Her fears about her photos not making a mark, her excitement about working at the paper, her dreams of seeing her work shape stories. Mr. Bennett listened, his eyes steady, his presence grounding her like a well-edited article. "You've got something special," he said, his voice sincere, his gaze unwavering. "Your photos, they're bold, like you. Don't let those doubts hold you back. The world needs your perspective." Her heart swelled, and she smiled, caught off guard by his encouragement, the warmth in his words wrapping around her like a soft filter. Thanks, she said, her voice soft. That means a lot. They walked back to the newsroom, the rain light now, the city's rhythm soothing. At the office door, Chloe turned to face him, her keys dangling, her heart pounding. The memory of their stormy night, the bold move that had started this spark, flashed in her mind, and the tension between them felt stronger than ever. You're making it really hard to keep this professional, she said, her voice a mix of teasing and truth, her hazel eyes locked on his. Mr. Bennett stepped closer, his hand resting on the doorframe above her, his body close enough to feel his warmth, his presence steady but electric. Professionals overrated, he said, his voice low, rich, carrying the weight of their shared moments. What do you want, Chloe? Her mouth went dry, her heart racing with the thrill of her dangerous desires. What did she want? Safety, simplicity, the job she knew. Or this him, the thrill, the fire he ignited in her heart. I don't know, she whispered, but her eyes lingered on his lips, betraying her. The memory of their stormy night, a quiet pulse in the back of her mind. He smiled, slow and knowing, his gray eyes warm but intense. You do, and I'm not going anywhere until you say it. She laughed, a shaky sound, and stepped back into the doorway, clutching her bag like a shield, her heart pounding with the possibilities of her desires. Good night, Mr. Bennett, she said, her voice soft but charged with unspoken promise. The spark between them brighter than the city lights through the rain. His laugh was warm, promising, his eyes locked on hers as he leaned back. Good night, Chloe. But this isn't over. She closed the door, her heart racing, the memory of the office, their stormy night, his touch lingering like a photo she couldn't develop. As she leaned against the door, she smiled, her heart ablaze with the thrill of what might come next, knowing she was ready to keep pushing the boundaries of her dangerous desires, one bold move at a time.